Have you ever felt a heavy knot in your stomach? Even when everything on the surface looks perfectly calm? You scan your relationship for errors and find nothing wrong yet. Your intuition screams that the dynamic has shifted. Do not silence that voice inside you. It is not insecurity, it is your primal instinct, detecting patterns that your conscious mind has not yet processed. The most dangerous betrayal does not start with secret late night calls. It hides in the daylight, camouflaged within the mundane routine of gym sessions. And extra processed hours at work. We are about to decode the psychology of deception and reveal the 4 specific ways a double life is concealed, using the ordinary to hide the extraordinary. If you value truth over comfortable lies and want to master the art of observation, hit that subscribe button right now. Let us walk into the dark together and validate what you already suspect. Let us begin by dismantling the illusion of safety, because the most effective lies are not hidden in the dark, but are woven seamlessly into the bright fabric of your daily existence. The first pillar of deception relies on what we call the safe alibi. These are the locations and activities you are socially conditioned never to question, because doing so makes you appear controlling or insecure. The genius of this strategy is that it uses your own trust and respect against you. Consider the gym in the modern world. Fitness is a virtue, and you applaud her dedication to health, but you must look past the surface. Does a 45-minute workout suddenly require a 3-hour window of absence? The gym bag is often more than a vessel for a towel and water. It is a transformation kit. It allows a woman to leave your home looking domestic and comfortable, then shift into a different avatar in the locker room. She walks out as your partner, but the gym provides the perfect narrative cover to become a sexual being for someone else. Then there is the unassailable fortress of her career. Work is the ultimate shield because it is tied to survival and ambition. You cannot argue with a deadline, and you cannot question a late meeting without seeming unsupportive of her success. This is where the deception thrives. Pay attention to the preparation. If she creates a narrative of high stress and exhausting projects, yet she leaves the house dressed more elegantly than she does for your anniversary dinner, you are witnessing a contradiction. Why does a crisis at the office require new perfume or careful makeup? When the workplace becomes a defensive wall rather than a place of employment, the dynamic has shifted. She knows you will not pry into professional matters, so she hides the affair in the one place you are legally and socially barred from entering. Finally, observe the vague hobbies, the art classes, or the coffee dates with friends whose names you never quite catch. These activities have blurry schedules and undefined companions. The logic here is terrifyingly simple. If she hides inside activities that seem healthy and normal, your brain naturally lowers its guard. You think she is improving herself, but she's actually investing her emotional and physical energy into a new connection. The most effective lies are built on 90% truth. She really does go to the gym and she really does have a job, but the spaces in between those truths are where the betrayal lives. Do not let the normalcy of the setting fool you. When an innocent hobby becomes a sacred space, you are not allowed to touch or discuss. That is when you must open your eyes. The location is innocent, but the secrecy surrounding it is the signal you have been waiting for. The second phase of detection requires you to study the architecture of her daily routine. Because a smart woman does not create new habits, she simply corrupts the old ones. The amateur makes the mistake of suddenly going out every Friday night, but the expert understands that the best hiding spot is right in front of your face inside the boring rituals of domestic life. She takes the activities you have ceased to pay attention to, like the weekly grocery run or the trip to the pharmacy, and she stretches the timeline. Watch the clock. Does a trip for milk and bread that should take 20 minutes consistently bleed into an hour? She relies on your disinterest. She knows you view these errands as chores, so you are relieved. She is doing them, and you do not track the minutes. But inside those extra 40 minutes lies a quick coffee with a new lover or a long phone call from the car parked just down the street. The errand is real, but the duration is the lie. You must also observe her state of mind when she returns from these mundane tasks. If she walks through the door carrying a bag of apples, but possessing a strange sense of peace or a flushed excitement that does not match the activity, be on guard. She has just received a dopamine hit from an external source, and now she is using your home as a place to stabilize. She is essentially recharging her emotional battery elsewhere and coming home to rest. This disconnect often manifests in how she handles her digital life. During these transitions, watch the phone. When she is with you, does the screen always face the table? This is the modern gesture of a closed door. If she takes the phone into the bathroom or the laundry room, she is creating a micro-environment where you do not exist. Furthermore, listen to the volume of her words. Innocence is brief, but guilt loves a long story. When she returns late, notice if she offers an explanation before you even ask. She might give you a detailed report about the traffic, or a chance encounter with an old friend, or a long line at the checkout counter. This is over-explaining. She is filling the silence with noise because silence makes her anxious. She has rehearsed the script on the drive home to cover the gap in time. Your gut knows the difference between a casual comment and a prepared defense. Trust that feeling. If you are finding value in this analysis and you want to help other men sharpen their instincts, please hit the like button and share this video. By sharing this knowledge, we build a community of men who refuse to live in the dark. The most subtle form of manipulation is not what is said, but what is omitted. We call this the information diet. In a healthy relationship, conversations are rich with proper nouns in specific times and clear locations. But when a third party enters the picture, the resolution of her stories drops drastically. You will notice that specific names are replaced by vague categories. She no longer went to lunch with Jessica and Karen, she just went to lunch with some friends from the office. This linguistic shift is not accidental, it is a calculated strategy to reduce the surface area of the lie. If she gives you specific names, she runs the risk that you might run into those people or see something on social media that contradicts her story. By keeping the details blurry, she makes it impossible for you to cross-reference the facts. She is stripping away the metadata of her life so you have no data points to connect. Observe how the rhythm of your communication changes when you try to dig deeper. In the past, she might have shared the funny details of her day, but now your questions are met with brevity that feels almost clinical. You ask how her evening was, and you receive a single-word answer followed by an immediate subject change. She's treating information like a limited resource that she cannot afford to waste on you. The goal is to move the conversation away from her timeline and back to neutral territory, like the kids or the house or the weather. She is building a firewall around her personal experiences because every sentence she speaks is a potential trapdoor that could lead to the truth she is desperate to conceal. The most dangerous sign, however, is the aggression that follows your curiosity. This is the ultimate defensive maneuver known as gaslighting. If you ask a simple question about who she was with or why she was late, and she responds with instant irritation or anger, you have hit a nerve. She will not answer the question. Instead, she will attack the questioner. She will accuse you of being controlling or insecure or paranoid. This is psychological jujitsu designed to put you on the defensive. Suddenly, you are apologizing for being jealous instead of getting the answer you deserve. She wants you to feel crazy for asking so that you will stop asking entirely. She is training you to fear the conflict that comes with seeking the truth. She protects her phone and her new social circles with the ferocity of a guard dog because she knows that one slip-up, one notification, or one photo could bring the entire facade crashing down. The final phase of detection is often the most painful because it involves witnessing the death of connection right before your eyes. So you might be waiting for a chaotic explosion or a dramatic shouting match to signal that the relationship is in danger, but the most lethal form of betrayal is actually silent. We often mistake the absence of conflict for the presence of peace. You look at your life and think, we are not fighting, so we must be stable. This is a fatal error in judgment. Silence is not always peace. Sometimes it is simply the sound of someone packing their bags. Emotionally, she stops arguing with you not because things are perfect, but because she no longer cares enough to fix the problems. You have become a background character in your own home. A ghost drifting through the hallway while she saves her vitality for a different stage. This phenomenon is based on the concept of displaced emotional investment. A human being only has a finite amount of emotional currency to spend in a 24-hour period. If she is spending her laughter, her empathy, and her deepest thoughts on another man during the day, she will have absolutely nothing left in her wallet for you. When she returns, you get the leftovers. The conversations become transactional and short. You talk about bills and schedules and logistics, but the spark of curiosity is dead. You will notice a chilling fluctuation in her temperature. One day she might be strangely warm and attentive, which is her guilt trying to buy itself a clear conscience the next day. She is cold and distant because she secretly resents you for existing and preventing her from being where she truly wants to be. Pay close attention to the physical intimacy. It changes texture completely. It ceases to be an act of shared passion and becomes a duty. A chore to be checked off the list to keep you blind and sedated. It feels mechanical and hollow like a performance where the actor has forgotten their motivation. This is the state of terminal indifference. She is calm, not because she is content, but because she has already checked out. When you finally confront her, look at her eyes and read the fear correctly. If she hesitates or becomes defensive, understand the true source of that emotion. She is not panicking because she is afraid of losing you or because she feels the heavy weight of moral guilt. She is panicking because her logistical cover has been blown. She is afraid of the inconvenience of the truth and the mess of a breakup, not the loss of your love. Do not confuse her fear of social consequences with a desire for reconciliation. When the emotional bond is severed, the person standing in front of you is merely a stranger wearing a familiar face. We have reached the end of this analysis, but for many of you, this is just the beginning of a difficult realization. The purpose of this video is not to plant seeds of paranoia in a healthy garden, nor is it to turn you into a detective in your own home. The goal is to give you the vocabulary to describe what you have felt but could not name. Your intuition is not your enemy. It is your internal alarm system designed to protect you from harm. If you feel that something is wrong, do not let gaslighting or sweet words convince you otherwise. Trust the patterns you see because human behavior is consistent, and truth does not need to hide in the shadows or defend itself with anger. You deserve a relationship where peace is real, not just a lack of conflict, and where transparency is the standard, not a luxury. Do not use this information to manipulate, but use it to find clarity. If your partner's loyal, your scrutiny will find nothing but love. If she's not, you owe it to yourself to face the reality, however painful it may be. Stand firm in your worth and respect the voice inside you that demands the truth. We are building a brotherhood here, a space for men who refuse to be blind. I want to know where you are standing in this fight. Please drop a comment below and tell us which city you are watching from right now. It is powerful to see how far this message reaches. If this video helped you wipe the fog from the mirror, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with a friend who might need to hear this. Let us help other men find the clarity they deserve. Stay sharp and trust yourself.